This is what to expect when you first see a soil pit. So we're looking at a hole in the ground more or less. We've got a profile exposed that we'll go into more detail with, but I'll take you down in the pit. This is what we would call our profile. We're looking at a sample of the soil in some way or another, whether it's ribbon, whether it's paint. The profile that we're looking at, that we're considering for contest purposes, is going to be marked one way or another. And you'll see the soil here is very, very dry. So a good way to make the color stand out would be to get some water, if there is water available, wet things down so that the colors are more distinct. And with the soil profile, when we measure at the top and work our way down. So if we have a tape measure, we start at the top and work our way down from there. That may seem backwards for some measurements. When we measure our height, obviously we start and we work our way up. With a soil profile, we're starting at the top and working our way down for crucial measurements with it. And we have different horizons, or horizons is another word for layers in the soil. Some ways we would look at them with different names. At the surface, we would consider that topsoil. Below the topsoil, we have what we would call subsoil, and below the subsoil, we have substratum. Also with those horizons, we may consider calling that an O horizon with organic material worked in. Sometimes we would call that topsoil layer the A horizon. Then the subsoil, we might also call the B horizon. Below that, substratum or parent material, we could call the C horizon. And I'll demonstrate those a little bit. We'll add a little more water to make it stand out. To be able to identify the horizons, we need to look at where the layers would start and stop. In this situation, we don't have a very thick layer of topsoil. We're talking something like this, 4, 5, 6 inches deep on the topsoil layer. And to identify that, we're looking at some darker colors with the topsoil, because topsoil is influenced by organic matter. The organic matter, which is basically dead plant and animal matter, gives it a darker color. So we need to decide where the topsoil stops and the subsoil starts. So we're going to say somewhere in here, and if we measured that layer, we would start at the surface, work our way down. We're looking at about 5 inches on that topsoil layer. So again, that would be topsoil, or we could call that the O horizon leading into the A horizon. And from there, we've got what we would call subsoil. So subsoil would be below the topsoil layer, but on top of the substratum or the parent material. So subsoil, one way to define that would be soil that's showing some development. It's not topsoil, but it does show some development, as in it's different from what the parent material would be. And once we get to the parent material, we've got soil that shows very little signs of development. Parent material would be, in this case, glacial till. What we would find as we go down, our subsoil has some brown, some darker colors to it. Once we get to the parent material, we see much lighter colors and a lot less development going on in the parent material. Some development, but very little. It looks very similar to when it was first put down.